When my wife Emily started her small home bakery, it wasn't about money, it was about passion. She had always loved baking, freshly glazed donuts, soft cinnamon rolls, cookies that could make anyone forget their bad day. Every weekend, the smell of butter and sugar drifted through our neighborhood, and soon neighbors began placing small orders. Word spread fast, and her side hobby turned into a sweet little business. But with success came attention, and in our neighborhood, attention meant Karen, the self-proclaimed HOA, enforcée. She had an uncanny ability to spot joy and try to regulate it. One morning, Emily found a notice taped to our door. Unapproved business activity detected. Cease immediately or face fines. Emily was heartbroken. She wasn't disturbing anyone. She didn't have customers lining up outside. She just baked from home and delivered locally. I called Karen, hoping for a civil conversation, but she responded with a sharp tone. "This is a residential area, not a marketplace. Health codes apply, you know." I explained that Emily followed every safety measure, but Karen wasn't listening. The HOA meeting that week turned into a full-blown attack on Emily's bakery. Karen presented photos of our house with deliveries, claiming we were running a commercial kitchen. The board seemed hesitant. They liked Emily's treats too much, but Karen's persistence was exhausting. She claimed she'd report this to the county health department herself. That night, Emily cried quietly in the kitchen, staring at her mixer. "Maybe I should stop," she whispered. But I wasn't going to let Karen bully her out of her passion. I decided to fight back, legally and politely. The next day, I contacted the county health department myself, explaining everything transparently. The officer appreciated our honesty and offered to do an inspection, just to make sure everything was up to code. We welcomed it. Emily cleaned every inch of the kitchen until it sparkled. The inspector came, smiled, and said, "Honestly, this is cleaner than most professional kitchens." He left impressed, and with that, Emily's bakery got an official home baking permit. But just when we thought peace had returned, Karen wasn't done. She didn't like losing. And her next move? Let's just say it would end up backfiring in the most unexpected way. Karen couldn't stand seeing Emily's bakery thrive with official approval. Every morning she'd walk her dog slowly past our house, glaring at the sight of flour bags being delivered. Soon she began whispering to neighbors, spreading rumors about unsanitary conditions and unlicensed sales. Her favorite line? "If the HOA doesn't stop her, we'll all end up sick." Emily tried to ignore it, but gossip spreads faster than buttercream. A few neighbors started avoiding her, and one even canceled their order. I knew Karen was behind it. Then came the turning point. Karen called an emergency HOA meeting. She had printed evidence, blurry photos of our trash bins, a clip of Emily carrying flour, and an anonymous complaint letter, clearly written by Karen herself. She stood at the front like a prosecutor saying, "We cannot have a commercial bakery endangering our neighborhood's health." I calmly presented our health permit and inspection report. The board members exchanged glances. One even smiled when I handed him a cupcake. "Approved by the county," I said, "and apparently by taste buds, too." Karen's face turned crimson. She snatched the report from my hand and muttered, "We'll see what real inspectors think." The next week, Karen called the county health department again, this time demanding a full investigation on Emily's bakery. What she didn't realize was that the officers already knew us. Instead, they decided to do a routine check on the person filing constant complaints. 2 inspectors arrived, not at our door, but at Karen's. Apparently, her home kitchen was part of an unofficial catering side hustle. She'd been running quietly for months, making charity meal boxes for events and accepting money for them. When Emily and I saw the county car outside Karen's house, we didn't think much of it until we heard shouting. Karen's charity kitchen was far from sanitary. Expired ingredients, open pet food near counters, and improper refrigeration. By the end of the inspection, Karen's community kitchen was officially shut down for health code violations. The irony? She'd been violating the exact rules she accused Emily of breaking. The news spread like wildfire across the HOA, and suddenly, the woman who wanted to protect the neighborhood's health was the one putting it at risk. But Karen wasn't ready to admit defeat. Not yet. After the inspectors left, the neighborhood buzzed with whispers. Karen's reputation took a nosedive. People who once nodded politely now crossed the street to avoid her. Emily's bakery orders doubled. Overnight, everyone wanted to support the lady who beat Karen. But instead of apologizing, Karen went on the defensive. "It's all lies!" She screamed at anyone who mentioned the shutdown. She claimed the inspectors were biased and that we'd set her up. One morning, we found flyers in mailboxes saying, "Beware of unlicensed food vendors in your area." They had Emily's photo on them. That crossed a line. I took the flyer straight to the HOA board and presented Karen's ongoing harassment. They were furious. The president warned her officially. Any further defamation would result in her removal from the board. Karen tried to look calm, but her hands shook as she said, "I'm just doing what's right for the community." The president replied, "You're destroying it." That night, Karen's husband came over quietly. "I'm sorry," he said. "She's been under stress. I told her to stop." It was the first time anyone in their family acknowledged what she'd done. But karma wasn't done. A few days later, the local paper picked up the story of a neighborhood feud turned health scandal. They didn't name Karen directly, but everyone recognized the details. The headline read, "Health inspectors shut down unlicensed neighborhood kitchen amid HOA drama." Karen became the talk of the town, and not in the way she liked. Her catering clients canceled. Her charity partners cut ties, and her own HOA allies stopped returning her calls. Meanwhile, Emily's bakery, Sugar Street Sweets, was thriving. She even got featured in the same newspaper for her clean, home-certified business. The contrast was poetic, but even after all that humiliation, Karen still found ways to lash out. She began reporting every little thing, our trash bins, our decorations, even the way I parked my car. It was pure spite. I told Emily to ignore her, but she worried Karen would cross another line. "She won't stop until she's completely alone," I said. And I was right. The final act of her downfall was closer than either of us realized. It all came to a head one summer afternoon. The HOA held its annual neighborhood fair, an event Karen had always controlled. But this year, she wasn't in charge. The board had quietly replaced her with someone who actually listened to people. Emily set up a booth for her bakery, offering cupcakes and cookies. The line was long, the air filled with laughter and the smell of vanilla. Karen showed up anyway, trying to act like nothing had happened. When she saw Emily's busy booth, her face twisted. "You can't sell food here without HOA approval," she barked. The new president calmly replied, "Actually, she has a vendor's permit and full health clearance. She's our official dessert sponsor." Karen froze. The crowd began whispering. Someone from the back shouted, "Didn't your own kitchen get shut down?" A wave of laughter rippled through the fair. Red-faced Karen turned and stormed off. Later that week, she submitted her resignation from the HOA board, citing stress. But everyone knew the truth. Her own hypocrisy had ended her reign. Emily's bakery continued to grow. She started a small online store, and local cafes began stocking her pastries. The same county inspector who had once visited her now recommended her for a small business grant. As for Karen, her house became eerily quiet. No flyers, no complaints, no gossip. Just silence. Occasionally, we'd see her walking her dog, avoiding eye contact, pretending not to see us. One day, as Emily watered her flowers, Karen stopped by. For the first time, her voice wasn't sharp. It was shaky. "I was wrong," she said softly. "Your kitchen. Your baking, it brings people together." "Mine didn't." Emily smiled kindly and handed her a cupcake. "Everyone deserves a second chance," she said. Karen nodded, took the cupcake, and walked away slowly. That was the last time we ever had an issue with her. Our story became a neighborhood legend, a tale of irony. Justice and sweet revenge served fresh from the oven. And as Emily says every time she bakes a new batch, kindness is the best ingredient. Even Karen learned that the hard way.